Google Earth lets you do some pretty cool stuff with a GPS device where you can see where you've hiked or biked or driven or whatnot in Google Earth. But you don't actually need to go out and buy a separate GPS device to do this, especially if you have an Android phone, because you can download MyTracks for free. And I've been using MyTracks for a while to keep track of my bike rides, but I most recently actually tried it out in Google Earth. Usually I would just upload it to My Maps and just look at it in a web browser. But I'll show you what's cool about doing it in Google Earth. But first, let me just quickly show you how you export it so you can get it into Google Earth in the first place. So if you have a current track open, you can just click on this little arrow thing, and then you can either click share with friends and email it to yourself, or you can write it to the SD card and then connect the USB cable to your computer. But if you're like me and you've accumulated just a few tracks over time and you don't want to do that for everyone individually, you can hit the menu button and then click Tracks, and then you can just tap Export All Tracks. And the file format you want, if you're either doing this or if you're doing the just an individual send, is GPX. And so you say OK, and then it'll write it out to the SD card. So when you mount the SD card on your computer, you'll look for the GPX directory, which I already have opened up here, and so you can see that I have 10 or so tracks loaded. And then you just head on over to Google Earth. Make sure you're running the latest version. You can just search for Google Earth download or something and find it. And then from there you do File Open, and you can choose the GPX track. I've already done that for a few, so let me show you what's kind of neat about them. And so what's cool about them is that they are animated. So let me just first pull up a bike ride here. This is the ride that I did the video of, where it was like a 2-hour bike ride that I compressed to 10 minutes for a video. And we can watch it even faster than 10 minutes right now. So I'll just hit play on the timeline here. And you'll see that, you can watch me first. I kind of go south, and then the trail ends. They haven't finished it yet, so I turn around, and I ride along here, quick stop at work, and then just kind of ride along the water there, and that part goes really fast because the wind helps me out. And then, oh yeah, I've dropped something for the camera, and then I had to turn back, and then there we go, all the way back to my apartment. And so what's neat about it is you can see exactly where I was at a given point in time. And you can see that the start point was 3:19:02 p.m. and the end time was 5:19:11. So it was just seconds over a 2-hour track. So that was pretty neat. I didn't know how close it was. And I can go back to any point and see, where were you on February 14th, 2010 at 3:57 p.m. right before the minute hand went over to 3:58? Well, I was right here on Stevens Creek Trail. So anyway, that's pretty neat. Let me show you some other stuff. So like we can head over to Colorado. And this is fun where the terrain and Google comes into play. So you can see that if we play it, I start off at the top of this hill here where we like to start. Oh, another thing about the imagery here, I think it's pretty cool. So snowing here, right? Oh, summer here. You can see where the images are actually stitched together, and looks like pretty good alignment to me. But obviously they were taken at different times of the year. Oh, where are we going? Okay, here. So what I can actually do is play it, and we can watch, because I just had it in my pocket while I was skiing, as kind of going along the top of the hill here, and then down and waited a little bit there, and then you'll see here get on a chairlift, and it goes actually nice and straight, and it slows down as people fall off and they have to stop it. And so going uphill on the chairlift, and then off the chairlift, and ski back down into the town. And I'll just show you one other ski run that I did. And these dates are when I imported it. I wasn't actually skiing on June 14th. So we'll play this one here. And you can kind of tell, the parts where it's a chairlift, because it's kind of a steady motion, and then, zigzags as I ski down and then get on another chairlift, and go up and ski down quickly, get on one more chairlift, and up to the top, and then I pretty much ski down the same way that I did before. First down to the town, and then up over to Mountain Village. And then, most recently, I got in a little bit of a bike accident. I was just riding along and pretty much fell off. I have a blog post about it if you want to read. But anyway, I was not exactly sure exactly where I crashed, because when I initially uploaded this to my maps, I knew that I crashed somewhere along here, but the trail was of the path of the GPS was just a little too smooth that I wasn't sure, like, is it this jaggedy thing here or this jaggedy thing here where I actually fell. But then I realized that I could import it into Google Earth, and I played it back, and so I know that I didn't crash at any of this point, but I'm looking to see where I actually slow down or stop, because that's what I did when I fell. Is I didn't move for a little bit as I fell off, and so you can see right there is where I stopped, and so that's probably where I crashed. And so it turns out it was that first kind of spike that we saw there, which is probably about where I crashed and went off this little hill here, and then and so I think it was at about like 6:15 that I crashed. And I wish I had this in the hospital, because I kept saying, when did this happen? And I said, I don't know, like an hour ago, maybe 6:30. So I was off by like 15 minutes. And then you can see as I go in, and there's this little kind of fountain feature here where it's shallow here. I walked across water, went to the deep part and rinsed off my hands, and as you'll read in the blog post, that's where I realized that things were a little worse than I thought, and so I rushed back to my apartment and then drove myself to the hospital. But anyway, that is looking at GPS tracks in Google Earth, and I just made these all using MyTracks, and it is pretty cool.